Thank you for listening to Reviews from the Back Row. We are reviewing things from the front row right now. I'm Michael Morris. This is Nathan Schoener. Nathan, how are ye?
Ye is good.
I'm using the royal ye as though I'm Odin and you are Loki's hat.
No.
Nope. Okay, so today's topic, I think, is going to be a rough one. Go ahead and introduce it.
Yeah, so this episode actually stemmed from a conversation we started to have, and then
An argument?
No, a conversation we started to have, and then stopped ourselves because we figured it would make for a good episode, as well as opening up to you guys. Let us know in the comments your thoughts as well. But as we prepare for some new MCU shows, and movies that are coming out soon, they're going to lift the rated R ban or TVMA ban on the MCU, because since the beginning, it's been either PG-13 or TV PG for the shows. There hasn't been anything that's been rated R.
Which is the one that's rated R first? Echo? That's the first. Is that the
That's
first?
What's coming out first will be Echo. So January 2024, and then the next one right after that's going to be Deadpool 3, July 26th next year, which will be rated R as well. So yes, really, our original question to you, what started this as, or maybe not so much a question, but just a general thought, which was, I think it's a good thing that they're opening up. I mean, they're wanting the MCU, this whole universe, to exist. So you have all these movies, you have all these characters, and I think there's a place for your content for kids. I think there's a place for your content for your young adults, for your teens. And I think there's a place for your content for adults that can handle the Deadpool and the Echo and the Blade and the Daredevil, which will be out late, maybe in the next couple years or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
I think you're an asshole. No, I'm just kidding. I
said on that, not on me.
Here's my take on this, because you said something very important for once. You said there are so many characters, right? You're expanding this universe. And we didn't discuss this. What is the number one problem we have with the Marvel's situation? Is that we're getting so many characters that are not tier 1, 2, and 3. We're getting 3 and 4 maybe, but we're getting away from the core of the group, right? So Deadpool and Wolverine, to me, this is my take on this, you get the more violent end of things, right, with those two characters. Yes. But you couldn't really show it in the previous Fox movie. Well, you could in Deadpool. Yeah. If I call him Daredevil one more time,
I slap you?
Yes.
You heard it. You all heard it.
I keep getting that in my head, like Sylvia Sweeney as well. So my take on it is this. We are still watering down a universe that when it was whole, when a movie was dedicated to one person, you could have the villain, you could have their side characters, that kind of thing. You didn't have to have all the cursing and all that other stuff, right? To open that up. So the violence was more off screen or off camera type thing. I don't mind it, except for the fact that now you have a different platform that you have to look at. So your rated R audience. So what the rated R comedy like The Hangover, or what's the one everybody quotes all the time with Michael Cera? Superbad. If you look, those are like cult classics and all that stuff, and they made money.
Oh yeah.
But that all kind of died out because those are kind of one-offs. So if you put a rated R movie out that's not Oppenheimer or that's not Napoleon or something, you are limiting who can see it, right? So now we're going to take it, and you have younger kids, right? So now you're going to put it on Disney Plus. You as a parent are going to have to make sure they don't turn that on right?
Well,
At their level.
they've put procedures in place. I've already checked to where
I get
you
it.
can't watch if you have your main account, you can set up when you're setting up your kids accounts or sub accounts or whatever to not see specific.
Does it not play, or can they not see it?
Can't see it.
So then, why would they have held back this long on releasing like the Punisher or Punisher Warzone? Punisher Warzone is not worth. I, as a Punisher fan, like it, but even I don't love it. I can't see any kids wanting to watch that. But the first Punisher with Thomas Jane. Well, that's not the first one. The Dolph Lundgren 1989. I don't know that anybody's seen it. If you didn't,
Thomas Jane one was
yes, that was
freaking awesome.
That was excellent. But Disney can't capitalize on it because, again, you almost have to have this section like it's like HBO. Then you had HBO After Dark, that kind of thing, where you knew what was coming on after 10 o'clock. I don't care about the rating as much as I care about what's in it. So if it's going to be violence for the sake of just violence, there's still going to be kids there. When I went to see Cocaine Bear with Mia, there was a 6-year-old kid in there who was confused, laughing, then crying, then laughing, crying some more because of the violence in it. I just don't know how you're going to make the money back that you're putting into these projects unless they truly are going to scale them back to $90 million to $110 million projects, which I think they should be that way. I think they should be more grounded.
Well, I think you're also looking at it as
I'm looking at it from a parent, but my daughter's 16. I'm looking at it as if I had it. So we've seen all these movies in the theater.
Yeah.
To me, I still it would have been fine. Like we would have had the conversation. Yeah. But there's a lot of parents that aren't paying attention to their kids. Like, oh, sure, we'll go see this. And then they have to deal with what they're seeing on the screen.
Well, I think that's the parents' fault there. If you can't,
100%.
If you're going to a movie and you don't know that it's rated R and not looking at, oh, hey, I'm taking my 10, 11-year-old, whatever, son or daughter, and I see that it's rated R, even if it's Marvel or coming from Disney or whatever, and don't look and see why it's rated R, then it's their own fault that they're going to have to sit there and be like, don't look at that. Don't hear that. Don't look at that. Don't hear that.
Well, take Oppenheimer. There's a couple of nude scenes in there. Thank God I read it before. I just didn't know when it was coming. And then when it came, I'm sorry, but if you're a man and you take your daughter or even your son, and that's going to be in the movie, if you don't feel like you got to cover their eyes and like, hey, you don't need to see this right now, just for the awkward glance you're going to have when you leave the theater, like Florence Pugh, huh? You know what I mean? Because I didn't turn my head away. I just said, you can't see this.
Yeah.
I did have somebody, I was reading a review where the guy goes, and what was the point of the nudity in there? Like, it was weird the way it was kind of laid out. Like, I'm just going to sit in this chair topless, and it served no point. Like, they could have been wearing.
Just needed to add something in there.
I get it, but I'm just thinking, like, that's how they had conversations. I don't know if you've had a lot of conversations with ladies sans tops, but I'm just telling you, it don't work like that. Anyway, your point was Florence Pugh? Oh.
No.
Anyway, when I look at these films, I don't know that the rating to have more violence is going to make them better. Just make it better.
Well, yes, but I'm not looking at it. See, from your statement there is kind of at least how I was taking it.
It is correct.
Shut up. Is you were kind of like painting a broad stroke over everything. Uh-huh. My point is that you, from a Marvel perspective, Disney perspective, whatever, they have this entire universe. You don't need the broad strokes. So you don't need the fact of everything being $90 million, $150 million to have that. You've got your Deadpool. That first, I mean, I don't know if they've showed what they made it for now, but that first Deadpool movie they didn't make for very much,
right?
Because they didn't know how it was going to do. They exploded, and Deadpool 2 did.
But I think part of the explosion is what do they? I'll guarantee if you look it up, I'll guarantee they spent less than $75 million on it. And we're looking, and we're looking, and we're looking, and we're looking.
Deadpool's estimated budget estimated about $58 million.
$58 million bucks. Yeah. So what did it gross?
Over 782.
Okay. So that is a massive success, right?
Oh yeah.
So look at Deadpool 2. I just want to see the difference. So that's a massive success. But the way that we're judging blockbusters now is, can it get to the $1 billion mark, right? I don't care about that. If a movie is really good, but it doesn't get to $1 billion, that's not the point of this.
Yeah,
it's not a contest.
And that's what really gets me from like other people that talk about stuff, is like, oh, it didn't make $1 billion, so it wasn't good. The only people who really should care about that is the executives or the people that are writing the checks. From our standpoint, it should be, is it good? Did we like it? Do we want to critique it? Do we want to put our thought into this?
They got at minimum a 6-time return on investment on the first Deadpool.
Yeah.
Right? So
and then in retrospect, Deadpool 2 estimated doubled to $110 billion.
Okay.
And still grossed.
But they still got their money back.
$785 billion, or I'm sorry.
It's still a profit.
Yeah. A total profit.
But
back to my point is that with the fact of with Disney Plus or with their stake in Hulu or whatever, they don't have to have everything be. So like Blade, I believe, is going to be on Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken.
The movie? No. That's going to be a movie.
This will be a movie. I'm sorry. No, there was
Agatha, Disturbed Darkness fellow. That is going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I don't see that being a TVMA.
Spider-Man Freshman Year as a cartoon will be Disney Plus. Captain America Brave New World movie.
Daredevil, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. So Daredevil, when they bring that out, will be in the. I absolutely loved those. So let's take a step back. Let's talk about before the merger with Disney, or before Disney bought Marvel, when they.
You mean before they bought Fox, not Marvel? Or you're going to go back to the 90s? I'm going
back to before they bought Marvel, because that's how the original Daredevil, Punisher, Jennifer Jones, Jessica Jones, all the Defenders were on Netflix, and that was all a little bit before Disney bought Marvel.
The acquisition, yeah. Well, no. That's when they got the Marvel rights back from Fox. So when they did that deal, they got them all back. When you're talking about the original Daredevil movie and the Punisher movie, you're talking about the series.
I'm talking about the series.
Yeah. Sorry, we're talking about the wrong timeline. You go.
Regardless of that, my point was I absolutely love those Marvel shows on Netflix that now are on Disney Plus. The Defenders kind of didn't quite hit the home run that I was hoping for. That's a whole nother episode that we can get into if we want to. I didn't know anything about Iron Fist until that show, and even though
Danny Rand,
and even though it was the lesser of the main four, I still really enjoyed it, coming from not knowing anything about it. I liked those characters.
Who'd you like better? Do you like Iron Fist or Shang-Chi?
Iron Fist.
See?
Yeah.
Right? But yet Shang-Chi we were looking at the rankings. That thing should be bottom of the barrel with Eternals. But go ahead. I just want to get your opinion, because you saw both. You saw a TV show, and you would have rather seen more of that than Shang-Chi.
Well, yeah, and I'm agreeing with you to that point of if they're going to be putting that amount of money for a movie, that $100 million, they can't do that with a C, D, E level characters. That has to be that A or B if they're going to combine a couple of them or whatever. I could see them doing that and it still be successful. My whole point though is that you have so much open with, just like your comics. So pretty much the whole point of all this is that this MCU cinematic universe is supposed to be their TV movie version of the comic book universe.
Well, it's supposed to be an outreaching of what they're doing. So what you're watching on the big screen, it is the filling the gaps between movies to draw it all closer. What I see as a problem is that if you look at the Kang dynasty, that wasn't the route that they were going to go until they got the reaction that they got from Jonathan Majors in the end of Loki, where people were like, oh my God, who is this? What a great character. Then we have to rush to get to the Kang storyline. Well, now it's dead. Like, they fired the writers for that. They're not doing it. And now they want to flip it to Doctor Doom. So you know nothing about Doctor Doom, and all of a sudden he's going to be your bad guy. The reason that the Infinity Saga works is because you didn't have this overarching villain of Thanos in every movie and a clue to it.
Yeah.
But once you saw it, they were telling you later this is going to matter.
Yeah.
Right now, they're just smacking you right in the mouth in the first 5 minutes. Here's the villain. This is the bad person. This is the good person.
Here's what I'm kind of guesstimating from different things that I'm seeing or hearing, either by articles and stuff like that I've read. I'm almost wondering if behind closed doors, the leads on the Marvel team, Feige and his whole crew, if they're like, hey, let's take a step back and let's get back to this phase 1 mindset of okay, here's our bad guy that we're going to, whether it's Doctor Doom or whoever, that we're going to allude to. We're not going to see for 5 movies, but we're going to put this character in here that's going to lead our whatever, whether it's what's coming up, Fantastic Four, Captain America, Brave New World, Spider-Man freshman year, and start that phase with, I mean, the fact that X-Men 97, we'll see what happens with that. I have hopes for it, but who knows?
The toy line's already come out, so you can see the characters in that, because we were just messing around at Walmart and you could see not all of them, but you could see a decent amount of what's coming.
Yeah.
Same animation style as the original one back in the day.
I absolutely love. That's one of my all-time favorite shows that I watched when I was younger. I was at that perfect age, coming home from school, watched that show. So I'm having nostalgia / high hopes for it and hope that it's well. If not, I mean, it's,
will it kill your desire to see the other projects if they mess up X-Men 97?
No. I mean, I look at each one and see, like, because I come from a filmmaking background, the fact that they are interweaving all of these is okay. If there's I mean, do I want it to fail or be a miss, or that they hired the wrong writers or creative team to go in a completely wrong direction? No. I have high hopes for it, but if it doesn't, it's not going to ruin my wanting to see things down the road or whatever.
See, I feel the same way, but I will say, I never want to see anything fit. This is odd because most people that will rip what I see or what I hear is people want to sit there and on the internet and rip these things. I do not.
No.
Now, if you make stupid decisions like that Snow White situation, if you do that on purpose to piss people off, then I do want you to put that out, and I want you to put it out because I'll watch it. I will watch it. I won't skip it. She-Hulk.
Let's just not even talk about it.
I was so excited when I heard the announcement of She-Hulk because I actually care about the character. And literally, I think I got through 2 episodes.
I couldn't get through it. I slay.
Did you slay?
No, I got through it enough to see Daredevil, which is what I wanted to see after I gave up on the show. I was like, I'm gonna keep going because I really want to see Daredevil, but that was it. I didn't even finish.
It was so poorly done. But I will also say that I think that Marvel wants to cut Disney also. They want to cut corners. Where they're spending their money, I have no idea. I mean, it's all got to be in post-production because they're not hiring writers with a bunch of credits. Like when Chloe Zhao did Eternals, she's coming off something where she had a budget of like $5 million or $10 million, and here's a $300 million film. She's going to make it her way. So when people don't like it, it's because they don't understand the style of how she does her films, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at James Gunn, there's always a feel to the way he does it. This is another funny thing. You look at what the Russo brothers have done outside of Marvel, not a whole lot of great stuff, but in that universe, they make really great stuff.
Yep.
I think there are some people that are great. What I want to say, they always say like great players are better than great systems or vice versa. So in that Marvel system, let them do their thing and they crank out great material, even though they don't like the system of how it's done. What I worry about is when you see the names of the people attached to the Deadpool movie, you're going to go drag Hugh Jackman out of the bush to be Logan again. Is this a cameo? Is this a one-off? What's the point? Because they already said they don't. Some of the reports say they don't want Hugh Jackman to stick around. They want to recast it. And I get it because he's like 56 years old. But you gave everybody something they love. And if you're going to undo Logan by doing this, better not be a joke. Like Multiverse of Madness.
I don't see this as undoing Logan. My thought is that that Deadpool 3 either takes place before the events of Logan, which would make sense. Logan takes place pretty far in the future. Right. Everybody's really old, and he ages slowly. So it's, I don't remember exactly what the year was, if they even said.
It was like the 40s or whatever. Like 2045 or something.
Yeah, or 50s or something. Or it's just in a different universe.
I think,
which I'm okay with.
I think it will work in the Deadpool universe because that is such an off the wall book. But if you don't know the character, you don't know the books, and this happens, you might go, what the hell are they doing here? But I hope it's good. I've not seen Disney handle something like this before.
Yeah, it'll be interesting do it well. To see, yeah.
But I don't want to see them tarnish the character. Like, they should have just let Ryan Reynolds go off with, who's the guy that did Free Guy that also directed? Sean Levy. Mm-hmm. They should have let them do it and bring it back. And then you can edit from here. Don't let Feige, that guy had the Midas touch, but I think he also had the 27 Yankees on board making this. James Gunn building the space part of the Marvel universe. The Russos building the Winter Soldier, Captain America, Scarlet Witch, all that kind of thing. There's no rudder anymore. Kevin Feige is in charge of all of this stuff. I don't think you can pay attention to 10 projects at one time and really give it what you got.
One thing I wanted to look at in the instance of Deadpool, because I was curious on, and I had a feeling, but so Ryan Reynolds is a producer on Deadpool. So I had a feeling that when he's got, especially with the Deadpool IP, he's got quite a bit of pull. So I have high hopes for Deadpool 3 because of that, in terms of the characters doing, being who they should be. So, for going back to what you were saying about Wolverine within Deadpool.
I also heard they're bringing back X-Men First Class characters and the original X-Men, like Storm and people like that.
In Deadpool?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But if you look at the picture, do you remember the book Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe? Then there's another book called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe Again, where he's going around and killing Captain America and the Punisher and all that. What I'm wondering if they're doing, which is why I was saying, is this a joke that you're doing it this way? Is he going to kill off all the old characters in a gimmicky thing to restart it?
Interesting. That would be interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Because on top of that, here's the other thing I read, that they want Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman to lead the Secret Avengers team, like they're the older ones that are kind of like, they'll have Jubilee and all these other people underneath them.
Interesting.
And then they want Andrew Garfield to come back because I think they want to do an Amazing Spider-Man 3, which they never did. Tie that to Venom. They have a million ways to go.
Yeah.
But you've got to come up with a core group for an audience to be there. You can't just keep spending your money. It's not cheap to go to the movies anymore. You can't just keep throwing money at bad stuff over and over again.
And we could keep talking about this for a while,
and we will later.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw something at you this week. Instead of a recommendation on a film or TV show, what is something that you have seen that they should stick away from? So it's
that like Marvel should say
no. That's like a film or TV show that you've seen that you wish you would have gotten your time back. That it's like an anti.
This is my let me protect you as a viewer.
Correct.
What I would stay away from outside of She-Hulk is Halloween. I know it's not the time for it, but please stop watching those movies because every time you watch them, they want to make another one. It's over with. It's overdone. And every time that it's October, everybody wants to watch those. You know there's only 2 good ones. Stop watching this garbage.
With that note, we'll see you next week.